Every brand has its or man staple fragrance. This is Bvlgari's take on a man fragrance. And I feel Bvlgari did an excellent job with the presentation. The bottle presentation, out of the park, like Bvlgari usually does. But with the scent, it's getting a beard stroke. Why? Because damn, stuff ain't good. What's going on, YouTube fragrance family? Welcome to another Robes 08 fragrance review. Today I'm putting my nose on the house of Bvlgari and their man release simply called Bvlgari Man. So let's take a look at the stats on this bad boy. It hit the shelves back in 2010. Bottle sizes. We got the 2 ounce and the 3.4 ounce. I got the little guy here, the 2 ounce bottle right here. Concentrations eau de toilette. Group, this is an oriental fragrance. Flankers. I'm happy that they've done multiple flankers of this stuff because some of the flankers really kill this as far as fragrance goes, but the bottles are absolutely gorgeous. So there's an extreme version of this. There's black cologne. There's the newest wood essence, which I want to try out, to name a few. They really, this is their staple. Now, if you're looking at purchasing this fragrance, retail price, you're looking around $80 to $92 USD to purchase this one. Whew, that's expensive. However, of course, this has been around the block for a few years now. Much cheaper at discounters. So go check out your nearest discounter and get this for really, really cheap. Nose behind this, of course, an all-star perfumer in our fragrance game, Alberto Marias, which is name is tagged on several Bvlgari's fragrances, namely Bvlgari Black Extreme, Black Cologne, Black Orient, and the Wood Essence, their newest one. So they love working with Alberto, especially with this lineup right here. So let's take a look at the notes on this one. It starts off with bergamot and violet leaf. In the heart, we have vetiver, sandalwood, cypriol, and lotus blossom. In the back end, at the base, we got benzoin, tonka bean, honey, cashmere woods, and musk. The major notes to this nose right here are cypriol, violet, and cashmere woods. How many sprays and where? I put 5 sprays, 1 on the chest, my standard, 2 on the neck, so 1 on each side. So you'll go here, here, and then 2 on the arm. So I'm wearing a long sleeve, but I'll go inner elbows here just because they're up a little bit. And of course, I'm going to do 1 on the back of my hand to remind me of the introduction. Now, this fragrance, a lot of fragrances, one thing that I can give away to a lot of you out there, especially ones that are new to this game, is some fragrances just don't work with your skin and some fragrances don't work on paper. And the one thing I noticed with this particular fragrance is on paper, Bvlgari Man absolutely is trash, like absolute junk to my nose. On paper, and I mean terrible on paper. Now, periodic times on my skin, it's gonna have a bad review, but sometimes it just doesn't work on my skin either. But sometimes I can see some good things about this fragrance, and that's what I do when I review fragrances. I'm gonna give you the bad and the good, but on paper, I've never had a designer fragrance like this that it was so bad on paper that I had to put it on my skin. I had to stop putting it on paper because most of the times when I review fragrances, I put it on my skin, but sometimes I like to look back to my review, put it on paper, and try to dissect some more. So anyway, this fragrance, terrible on paper, better on skin. So check it out on skin, and I'm sure a lot of you had the same experience with this particular fragrance. It just wasn't very good on paper. So I'm just gonna remind me of this introduction. I'm gonna go back on my hand here and spray a fresh spray for the introduction, let you guys know what I get from the intro of Bvlgari Man. Up top, Bvlgari Man starts, it doesn't start very well. There's a blend of notes here that just doesn't work on my skin. There's a tart citrus here. There's some peppery woods. There's an herbal touch to this fragrance with some musky nuances. It really feels out of place. it doesn't smell pleasant to my nose. Overall, it's a herbal, woody, spicy thing that just didn't work on my skin. And this is actually what I got on paper when I spray this fragrance. And the introduction, it gets better, but that introduction, oh, it's poorly, to me, it's poorly done. Now, this idea never really goes away in Bvlgari Man, and that's why it's going to get such a low scores, because it still bothered me. I really didn't enjoy it. It starts clearing a little bit, but it is the central theme of Bvlgari Man. Bvlgari Man does have some excellent parts to it, including the violet leaf in this fragrance that gives the scent that watery aspect. There's a little whisper of lotus in here. The cypriol is a huge culprit up top, which gives this scent that woods, that herbal tone, the earthy tones with some spicy nuances, which gives that spicy herbal kick up top, that pepperiness to the fragrance. And that's the thing that's really not working for me. Bvlgari Man has a damp, woody black pepper kick up top with some tart citruses and a stale, musky tone to the fragrance. Something that never really meshed with me. In the heart and more into the deeper dry down of Bvlgari Man, this scent pulls away from the citruses. It takes away the citruses. Of course, they die off fairly quickly. The cypriol keeps pushing this main theme of the scent here, making this theme very, very linear as a fragrance. Not that I dislike cypriol, but it seems very concentrated in this fragrance, in this scent. It very much is the major theme in this fragrance, and I really didn't like that. Now, the rooty vetiver, the mild scratchy cashmere woods here add themselves more into the dry down. With the amount of woods that are in the note breakdown of Bvlgari Man, I thought that they would have a larger role in this particular fragrance, but they're quite mild in this fragrance. Towards the end, this fragrance shows more of a musky, herbal scent with a splash of honey to give a little bit of sweetness here. The notes of benzoin and tonka were never large players here, if at all. Bvlgari Man just has a splash of sweetness and none from those two notes from what I detect. Overall, Bvlgari Man is your typical daily wear, office wear, don't think about it type of scent. Great. Unless you have a dozen of these. there's, in my personal opinion, there's much better to wear for the office. It really felt like it was basic. It has no color to it. It has no personality to the fragrance. It just really didn't scream out anything to me. It was very gray as a scent. It's an herbal, woody fragrance with slight citruses, lots of musk that never really meshed together very well. The blend was scratchy at best. The quality of this scent was subpar at best. Some of the more interesting notes in this particular note breakdown of this fragrance never really did show up. And some of the notes that did show up were turned up way too much for my liking. I just felt like there was a lot of movement in this fragrance. Very linear though, but some of the notes that were higher up in the echelon that were gravitating towards my nose just weren't of the highest quality, and they weren't very good, to be honest. For a staple or man release from a brand that is high up there, Bvlgari, to me, the brand or the theme man here, they came up short. Actually short enough that some of its flankers actually have surpassed it as far as popularity goes and sales. So Bvlgari Man, I think, was a dud of a launch. But it did spearhead a lot of good flankers for the brand. Recommended age for this one, I would have to say 25 and up. It has a little more matureness to the fragrance, so it may not go for the younger crowd that likes sweeter fragrances. This fragrance just seems a little more mature to me. Fragrances that come close to this, I'd recommend Fahrenheit from Dior. I'd recommend Yves Saint Laurent's If you like this, you may love the niche version of this, which, again, not the niche version of this, but something that's close to this, that has a peppery kick to it, is Honor Man. I really feel like someone that would love this would actually want to step up their game. Honor Man would be the way to go from Amouage. Best time to wear this fragrance, I already said it. Office wear, daily wear scent, seasons. This is a springtime scent, even for fall too. It's one of those that, again, it can be a signature scent just for office wear, daily wear, that's it. But spring and fall is its main seasons. Development, is this linear, average, or complex? I'm going to go average, but closer to linear. Work appropriate, yeah, of course. Signature scent worthy, yes, of course. So let's get into my rating system, projection and longevity. As you can see, some fairly low scores here. Projection, 4 bottles out of 10, little lower than average. This thing never really pushed off my skin. Longevity, 5 bottles out of 10. It's going to give you a good 4 to 6 hours on your skin. Compliment factor. This did not work for me and the people around me. I'm going to give it 2 bottles out of 10. Really didn't get much attention. Uniqueness, 4 bottles out of 10. It's not anything that will blow your mind as far as unique. It is not very unique in the game. Pricing versus what you get, I'm going to give it 3 bottles out of 10. I really think as far as this price point, there is so much more in the fragrance game that can give you your staple office scent. That goes to versatility, 6 bottles out of 10. It is fairly versatile as a scent. Anything that's signature scent worthy has to be rating 5 or higher. This one gets a 6. Smell, Bvlgari Man gets 3 bottles out of 10 from me. As far as smell goes, this one never really clicked with me. There was some redeeming points out of this fragrance here and there, but overall, looking at the whole scheme of things as far as longevity, projection, versatility, the price, how unique it is, a quality blend, and looking at the quality of the notes and all that, and looking at the brand Bvlgari and what it can offer you. This is a definite 3. It is very much a dud in my eyes. And that goes to an overall score. Bvlgari Man gets 3 bottles out of 10 out of me. One of those fragrances that I feel like just didn't cut it. And that goes to buy, try, or pass. Bvlgari Man gets the pass treatment. I would not recommend to sniff this fragrance out for an office daily wear signature scent worthy fragrance. You can find much better in the designer realm. As always, I'd love to hear your take on this particular fragrance. Is this a buy, try, or pass for you? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you feel the same way as I do? Do you hate it even more than I do? I'd love to hear your take. And I just want to thank everybody that has watched this review. Thank you so much. And please remember, a great or poor fragrance will make a lasting impression. Choose your scent wisely. Thanks for watching.